Well, welcome to the stream, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. A good Thursday afternoon, Thursday morning, Thursday evening, depending on where you are. Maybe not even Thursday. What to say. So I've been pretty busy setting stuff up. I'm actually getting a new... Well, so here's the deal. So I have... In fact, let me actually switch this over. So I have a bad webcam. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's a few years old at this point. So I am thinking that I'm going to be getting a new webcam tomorrow. I ordered it on Amazon earlier today. It's a little higher end, a little higher quality, and that's a good thing. So we're going to go ahead and be doing... well, that's not all. There's a new webcam. But I'm also going to be probably setting up, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, I don't know if it'll be a week from now, I don't know if it'll be 2 months from now. But I'm probably going to be setting up a whole new studio area. So we have an extra room in this new place that we moved to. And just depending on how things go, we might actually turn that into a little studio. So we can make live streaming a more regular thing in terms of, in terms of everything. Make it just a little better. Hopefully a little better audio quality, hopefully just a little better experience overall. Aside from that, let's see. Got a lot of great questions. We did have a contest winner yesterday. That was Tyson Winter, if I remember correctly. I didn't stream yesterday because we were doing the final things on our move. The final inspection, make sure the move, make sure we cleaned up and everything, which we did. And so we're getting our deposit back soon. That's pretty cool. For our last place that we were renting, it was a townhome down near Tacoma, outside of Tacoma. But aside from that, what am I thinking? I was going to soundproof the extra room, but very expensive. So the sound quality won't be quite as cool as it could be. What else did we do yesterday? Learn the League. I'm not happy with that Learn the League. That was kind of a... I don't know. I can do... Well, there's a lot of good subjects, and that was one that I was like, well, it's kind of like the Guardian Angel one. I'll just put this up because it's a small thing, but it's not really. I think it's too minor of a thing that I probably shouldn't have put it up. So I will go ahead and make sure the next few ones are really good, or at least really helpful. Anyway, let's see, what else? We have some great questions here. And I will not get to all of them because I do want to get into... before I go any further here, we are not going to just be focused on doing gameplay, and we're not going to be just focused on doing Q&A. I'm talking with a good friend of mine. His name's Kevin. I don't want to say too much because we're still working out exactly what we're going to be doing here. We want to set up different shows for different times of the week. Now, a perfect example is like Day 9, who has Fun Day Monday. Day 9 is just an excellent, amazing caster in every way. So this is certainly taking inspiration from great people in this space right now. So that's actually something I want to start getting into, is really we're going to set up shows that are not just like me playing every day or just me doing Q&A every day. I actually would love to get into something about... we're still working it out. We're still working out the ideas we could go with. Spectating matches, having challenges for our users, any number of things. There's a lot of cool stuff. So, Cider, what sort of hardware does your PC... Well, whatever. If you have ideas, if you have any ideas at all for really cool series that I could do, like something that's going to be like... An example is like the Fun Day Monday that Day 9 does, where he has some challenge that he puts out, and every Monday that's what he covers. I'm going to do something similar to that, but I have to avoid... I'm not going to straight out copy that for one major reason. Doing that and having people troll their own teams is a bad thing in League of Legends, where it's not just one player versus another player, and all that's on the line is that one player. So we're going to figure out something that's a little, a little more responsible for the League of Legends side of things. But that's certainly going to be one thing. Definitely spectating is going to be another thing where I'm going to shoutcast. Maybe I was thinking like Fan Friday or something, where we have a game for the people who are subscribers or whatever, versus each other or whatever. I've done this on the Late Night League before, and this is something that I'm interested in doing again, where I actually shoutcast the whole thing and, we really get into it. But if you have any ideas at all, drop them on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ciderbook. What else? I would say... Okay, so learntheleague.com, I'm working on that website. We're actually working quite a bit on that website. Unfortunately, for those of you who own the book, I completely accidentally, when I switched the theme over, deleted the entire changelog. Now, there hasn't been an update in a couple weeks, so I'm hoping that anyone who was actually looking for that changelog has seen it recently enough that they kind of knew what was up. But that changelog is gone. I think I've only got the first couple updates. Everything else I did website, which is really stupid. Don't do that. Anyway, that's pretty minor. Everything still works and functions exactly the same on Learn the League. Working on setting up forums on there. I had a WordPress integrated forum. I don't like it. I mean, it just doesn't have the features that vBulletin has. I have a vBulletin license. I've got several vBulletin licenses. I've got one just sitting around for this domain, so I might actually do that. And that'll probably be, to at least some degree, open to everybody. Also going to be adding a blog section to the page. So all the Learn the League, all the don't feeds, anything that is educational is going to be on the Learn the League website. So that'll be something where if you don't pay, but you still want to, figure out what's going on. A lot of you watch me on YouTube, so you don't necessarily need to watch on Facebook or whatever. Anyway, that's going to be going on the webpage as well, and then I think we're going to be working on kind of an updated sales pitch. Honestly, it is important that we sell the book, obviously. So that's going to be another big push. And then there's also going to be an update to the book in the near future. And I've gotten a few good suggestions. I asked for suggestions. I've gotten a few good suggestions already by email. So please, if you have any suggestions, if you currently own the book, make sure that you let me know about the suggestions that you have, what you'd like to see. And then one final thing in relation to that. Somebody asked, I believe it was the last comment. Do I still have this up? Did I delete this? Where are you? Sammy of Dawn. This is like the last comment on the last Q&A, so on Wednesday. Cider would not mind a section in the book about some advice for things like item and true or item and rune builds, and I played a lot of games of League of Legends and something I just can't master. I would happily buy the book if it helped with things such as that, maybe even sections about key champions, like ideas on how to build fighters, tank, mages, etc. Hope you see this. Not only have I seen this, anybody who owns a book probably will jump and point out that that's actually a huge section of the book. Every single role, I mean, there's 5 primary roles. I go in detail on exactly all of the options for those roles, how you build those roles, what are the good ways to build those roles. Of course, there are exceptions for all this, and I cover that in the book, but there's a fairly robust section. It's one of the very first that I put a lot of work into. And that's received updates as new items have gone on the game. I haven't gotten Athene's Unholy Grail in there yet. That's a little more recent than the last update. But yes, there's a big section of the book that is dedicated just to that. Okay, off the book. Let's get off the book and let's get into... We're going to do another contest on it, but I'm not going to do it today, I don't think so. Because I do want to get more just sorted out in terms of what we're actually doing with our daily stream. And I might change out the name of the stream and cancel the current show as we move on to a new show, just because the first 36 episodes of this have been very different from what it's going to be going forward. The first 36 being I log on, I play, I bring subscribers in, whatever. But I really want to do something better with this series, and I have for a long time. So I might just create a whole new show, not call it the Daily League. It'll be on the same time. Everything's going to be the same in terms of time and when you tune in and when you see the videos, all that. But yeah, there you go. Okay. Now I had a few good questions, so I don't know what I want to do. If I want to jump in, man, I've been playing around seriously hard with XSplit, DX Tory, just figuring all this stuff out. And again, I really want to improve the everything. Okay, let's see if I can get to some of these questions in here. Do you really think Magma Chamber is real? This is from Jesse Laro. Actually, I should move this a little so I'm not looking totally away from the camera when I answer this. Let's see. Do you really think Magma Chamber is real? No, I don't. Dominion is Magma Chamber, which is to say Magma Chamber was a concept for a map. If you aren't aware of this, they were going to add a new map to the game called Magma Chamber. This was announced a long time ago, and just over and over and over again, like, it was this huge thing that they were going to add to the game, and they never did, and people were worried about it. Yeah, that's what Dominion is. It doesn't look anything like Magma Chamber, the original concepts we heard of. Nothing really sounds like Magma Chamber, but from what I understand, the development time that was put into Magma Chamber was shifted and put into Dominion, and so I guess some of the same concepts were put over into Dominion. So there you go. Magma Chamber probably will not be produced unless... I won't say that. I don't know for sure. What are your thoughts on League of Legends supremacy domains? I have no idea. Again, for people who aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, Riot purchased a bunch of domain names called League of Legends Supremacy. This is similar to what they did for League of Legends Dominion. So whether Supremacy is going to be the next season, whether it's going to be a big tournament, probably not going to be a big tournament, whether it's going to be a map or whatever, I don't have the answer for you. And I'm not sure how much information there is out there, because I know this is pretty hush-hush. Just some people noticed, somebody who watches the Who Is noticed they picked up all these domains. So there you go. Let's see. Who do you recommend? Corki, Kog'Maw, or Darius? Three very distinct champions. So Corki and Kog'Maw are both technically ranged AD, although Kog'Maw can play a little more legitimately as an AP. But definitely, I feel Kog'Maw's strength is definitely as an AD carry, a pretty standard AD carry. Corki is very high damage, but he's got mobility. He's got a little bit more play like Ezreal, for instance. He's more of a caster in the sense that you do have a lot of abilities you're managing at any given time. Kog'Maw is more of a straight, I'm going to nuke you to death, and I'm pretty sure Kog'Maw does more damage. I think he does more damage than any other champion in League of Legends over time. I could be wrong about that, but if I'm wrong about it, it's not by much. And that's, of course, if you build him, if you do well with him. Kog'Maw's thing is he's not protected. You got to worry about positioning. But man, he is a good champion. I love Kog'Maw. I love Corki too, but I haven't played Corki much. Those of you who watch the Late Night League know that about 6 months ago, I want to say... yeah, probably about 4 to 6 months ago. This is way back when I was doing this at like midnight instead of during the day. I started trying the AD carries that I hadn't tried before, and Corki was one of those. So I really don't have a lot of experience with him, but I do know his strengths. I know he's a very strong champion, but it's managing like the Q and especially the R, doing that well, managing his mana, everything like that, that's really going to make you a good player with him. But he does have that nice escape that you can use it as an initiate, but I'm always going to call it an escape because that's essentially what it is. Darius. Darius is just completely separate of, completely separate of Corki and Kog'Maw. So that question, this question, by the way, is from Cameron Bates. This I'm just going off the Facebook list. I asked people on Facebook what questions they'd like to see answered. So I'm going to answer a few of these. I don't think I'm going to get to all of them or even most of them before we jump into a game or something here. Let's see. So anyway, Darius is completely different than Corki or Kog'Maw. Just completely. It's nothing like him. It's it's an AD melee champion who... No. If you want to play Darius, you can pick up Darius, but I can't even compare them. Who do I recommend? Probably Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw is still around. Corki's still around too. Kog'Maw's still around. They're still really good champions. I feel like something could happen to Darius. I feel like Riot might nerf him. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. But I think there's a chance Riot's going to nerf Darius, so... I wouldn't pick him up right now unless you're pretty sure that's who you want to play. But it sounds like you're undecided. Would you like to see a different map, perhaps with more players? Yes and no. Yes and no. So I play Dota. The reason I play League of Legends is because it's a pretty good Dota game. The reason I played Dota is because I enjoyed Dota. The reason I play Heroes of Newerth is, well, I haven't actually played too much Dota. I played a lot of Heroes of Newerth. That's where I really got introduced into the genre, was Heroes of Newerth. So I played some Dota too, but I wasn't really a part of the original Dota. But I have a lot of respect for it. So anyway, I play League of Legends because it's a good Dota game. That's why I don't play Dominion. Like, Dominion's a plenty fun game, it looks like, but it's not the game I want to play. I want to log in and essentially play Dota. You know, with some different design decisions and everything, but essentially Dota. So new maps don't mean all that much to me because I actually like the setup of Summoner's Rift. The map means very little to me. It's like asking a football, soccer player, whatever, you know, would you like to have more fields? But it's really not about where you're playing. It's about, you know, the strategies and stuff you pull off. Now, you can introduce new strategies with a new map, like, say, how bushes are or juking or whatever, line of sight, all that stuff. You can introduce all sorts of new strategies with new maps. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't... I'm not interested in a new map. I don't think Dominion... I think they've learned lessons from Dominion. I don't think Dominion is nearly as popular as, I don't know. It might be above Twisted Treeline, which is another one I haven't really played too much of. Okay, let's see here. What's your opinion on Draven, Darius' brother, who is exactly like him? Oh, nothing like him. Draven's nothing like Darius, but I don't have an opinion. But I am waiting on the public beta environment, and I'm going to have a quick video up on that note. Okay, and this question is from Nick. Ooh, please tell me I'm not going to pronounce this wrong. Ducharme? Nick Ducharme? Please forgive me. Anyway, yeah, well, he's not like him, but I'm going to get a video up on Draven when I can play him. It won't be a don't feed, but it'll be like, here's the champion, here's what's up with him. I know there's a lot of people who want information on this champion. You know, the interesting thing about this is, like, people on the general discussion, Reddit, whatever, you know, they've discovered this new champion in the patch notes, or not in the patch notes, but in the game, this Draven champion. This is before they put up the official announcement on Draven. But this was only a couple days ago, and I remember, like, 6 days ago, somebody said, like, right after Darius came out, they said, oh, there's going to be this new champion, Draven. And I read that thread, because they said it was an Axe champion. I read that thread, and I seriously thought it was a troll. I didn't even give it a second thought. And I think a lot of people did that who saw that post, because, like, okay, you know, you want to make up another Axe champion, another Noxus Axe champion after Darius releases, whatever, you know, that's cool. So people, most people who are aware of it now weren't aware of it until very recently, but it's been out there. People, yeah, it's been out there. Okay. What is your, let's see. Adam Meadows, I know this might sound dumb, but meh. But what is the best way to get over nerves about starting PvP player versus player? That is my biggest problem at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to assume this is League of Legends related, but it may very well be MMO related because I do take questions for MMOs, other things like that. In both cases, the answer is play with friends. Yeah, you will, if you play with friends where you don't have that fear of your friends just like telling you you're an idiot or whatever, and you know you're fairly anonymous to the other team, especially now with the all chat turned off. You're anonymous to the other team. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. So if you just play with some friends, you're going to be able to get into PvP and enjoy it. And again, I'm not sure if you're talking about like going from bot games to live games against players, or if you're talking about MMOs, but it's the same thing either way. Let's see. What are your... Oh, no, I'm not going to... I was going to sort all these out and have them all figured out. Exactly what I was doing before this stream today. Unfortunately, I didn't really get a lot of time because I was having so many problems with XSplit. Not big problems, just simple problems. League of Legends tanks. This is from Logan Rotramel. Who is your favorite and who do you consider to be the worst? Including who you've played and enjoyed the most. League of Legends tanks. Who is your favorite and who do you consider to be the worst? Okay. I have played all the tanks except for Malphite. I haven't really played much of him. and except for Cho'Gath, and I haven't played much of him. I love Amumu, I love Galio, I love Leona. I think those are the three not best tanks for every situation, but I think they're three amazing tanks. Leona just chains so much CC. She has so much crowd control. She can set up such a good kill lane. She can set up such good ganks. Amumu, just game changer. Complete game changer. Galio, complete game changer in a different way. Galio's ult range is a little smaller than Amumu's, but if you have like an Amumu versus a Galio... Oh, and before somebody comes in and tries to correct me and say they have the same range because the wiki said so, the wiki's wrong. Galio has a smaller range than Amumu on his ultimate. Yeah, so Galio can use his ultimate after Amumu uses his ultimate, because Amumu's just binds you in place, and it's strong. It's really strong. Amumu's just fun because he does so much damage, too. You stay near an Amumu, and you're probably going to die. And then Galio, because he's only immobilized, but he can still cast. He can actually cast his ult inside of Amumu's ultimate, so you have two teams going at it, and both teams wind up just horribly CC'd in the middle of this. That's been pretty cool to watch. But yeah, Leona is definitely a lot of fun. Very, very well synergized champion. Very fun. As far as other tanks, I mean, who have I played? Played Nautilus, Sejuani. I'd say Sejuani just because being a tank isn't just about taking damage. It's also about being an initiator. And I'd say Sejuani is a tank. And I would say Sejuani is an example of probably one of the weaker tanks that has been released. So... mainly because she just doesn't contribute much, and for some reason her damage is just awful. Like, her damage is horrible. You can get it a little higher. And I think her base stats aren't even that good. Like, yeah, she's just not a very strong champion, but, man, she can slow and CC a team like crazy. So what else? Nautilus. I don't enjoy Nautilus that much, but Nautilus is crazy. I despise playing against a good Nautilus. It annoys me to no end, a good Nautilus. But yeah, I don't really enjoy him. I don't know. Something about him just throws me off. And that's okay. That's from Logan. I already said that. My son's name is Logan, but a lot of you know that. What are your feelings on Rumble? I've been maining him for a while and he just seems really strong. Though whether because I play him well by he's strong by default or people just can't play against him, I don't know. What are your thoughts? From Zane Boyd. Rumble's really good. He's a really strong bully. If you bully him out of lane early, it's really rough for him. He stays very good through the late game. I feel like he falls off a little in the late game in terms of his damage, but in terms of his utility, it's always there. He's one of those transitioning champions. So Olaf's another example, in my opinion, of a transitioning champion, of somebody who starts out really kind of glass cannony, but you must transition to being a bruiser, or at least having some kind of survivability as Olaf, or you will not survive the late game. So that's how I feel about Rumble. You kind of have to be transitioning away from being just a straight caster and into being a little bit more survivable. So anyway, he's a good champion. I'm going to just see if there are any more that I should answer real quick. I know you guys have a lot of questions. I just realistically cannot get into all of them. I'm going to drink some water. Last time I did this, I didn't drink water. And I really regretted it. My throat was getting really scratchy by the end of it. That was only an hour long. Okay, let's see. Jake Young, what are the advantages and disadvantages of starting Doran's Blade instead of a Vamp Scepter, Cloth, 5 hit points? That would be bad. 5 health potions, etc. on junglers. Oh, on junglers such as Lee Sin, Gangplank, Tryndamere, etc. Level 2 gankers. So you're... Okay, so here's where I'm going to go ahead and get into if you are specifically talking about level 2 gankers. I'm assuming that's related to doing a level 2 gank, that question. And all I can really say is it doesn't have that much of an impact. If you have the if you're not going to lose too much health, it's fine to pick up a Vamp Scepter. Obviously, if you're going to regen your health there. Cloth 5 hit points if you are going to lose a significant amount of health. I mean, this is a very generic answer, but I'm answering kind of generally for the jungle, and I don't think it has too much of an impact on being a level 2 ganker. Doran's Blade is a very strong opening item, but only some champions can get away with it realistically. It is good for that initial gank. You have to get that initial gank, because what you are doing with the Doran's Blade is you're sacrificing building towards something that helps you either in the later game or even with jungling, such as a Wriggle's Lantern. The advantage of Vamp Scepter, if you're not going to lose too much health versus Cloth 5 health potions, if you're not going to lose too much health, the advantage of a Vamp Scepter is you spend more gold towards your first Wriggle's Lantern. And so with Cloth Armor 5 health potions, that is almost always the most survivable option you can pick. In terms of any health you lose, you're going to lose less health because of the armor, and any health you lose, you're going to get back because of health potions. If you're going to be ganking a physical damage, burst damage, lane, then yeah, you want Cloth 5 health potions. But generally speaking, Cloth 5 health potions is the weaker option among a Vamp Scepter and even a Doran's Blade, again on the champions that you can get away with. Like, for instance, I know that Olaf can get away with a Doran's Blade. Lee Sin can for sure get away with a Doran's Blade and just straight out skip Wriggles. You don't always want to skip Wriggles, especially on a champion like Lee Sin, where that Wriggles actually provides you that extra ward. But in some cases, like I've seen Cruiser the Bruiser, who's like the pro Lee Sin player. I know there's a few other people who play him really well too. In some cases, they will actually forego the Wriggles, and they'll just get a Doran's and build like an Aegis or something, like an Aura item even, as one of their first items. Well, anyway, the Cloth 5 health potions is your safest bet. I always pick it up if I don't know the champion. Like if I switch champions and I don't really know the champion in the jungle, that's the safest bet of all. It makes sure you're alive going in if you have red buff. Well, I mean, the other question is, do you bring boots and health potions into the jungle? And some champions can get away with that. Anyway, yeah, there you go. I don't know. There's trade-offs for all of them. Cloth 5 health potion. Oh, and the trade-off, which I don't think I actually explicitly said, is that you are losing all the gold of the 5 health potions. That's a pretty big trade-off. That's why the Vamp Scepter is pretty good, because all of that gold you're spending goes towards that first item. Okay, let's see. What advice can you give for top lane players? Man, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Dong Hai Kwang. I don't even know this one. I know this is a common, Nguyen. That is a common name, but I don't know how to say it. Is it just new? I don't know. Anyway, what advice can you give for top lane players? Top lane players. Okay, so that's my weakest role, and I've said this many, many times. Top lane is my weakest role. Here's what I understand about top lane. Top lane is all about the back and forth. In top lane, you really want to be watching the minions, which way they're going. If you can get it to their tower, like if they have to back, if you force them to back, you want them to lose experience and gold by pushing them to the tower. And vice versa. Let's see, there's just a lot of back and forth. There's who levels first, they're setting up for a gank. Make sure that you're warding, depending on which side you're on, you want to ward at least. So if you're bot, which I believe is blue and purple's top, so blue you want to ward at least in that gank bush. If you are top, you want to ward at least in the tri bush. In both cases, if you can, if you have more map awareness, you want to ward a little further down the river, like right at that bend where the tri bush is coming out to the river, just right there. But you do have to have the map awareness to do that. So when you ward that, basically you don't have vision in the gank bushes, the tri bush or the gank bush in the river. So you want to make sure that you actually are seeing your mini map at any time. So if somebody comes in, you're not totally blindsided by them because they were waiting in the bush, because you saw them go into the bush in the first place. But there is a lot of back and forth, and really most of top lane, it comes down to understanding the back and forth. And understanding the champions you're against, understanding what you can get away with. As far as champion selections, understanding who counters who. Like, for instance, you usually want to take usually, not always, want to take a ranged champion against a champion like, Darius, or a champion like Olaf. You don't want to get into melee exchanges with these champions. So understanding that, understanding the relative strength of certain champions. Aurelia was a big one. They nerfed her pretty hard. Understanding the strengths of Riven, what she can do, what she can get away with. really understanding your champion inside and out. So yeah, there you go. I can't really say that I know as much about top lane as I'd like. So there you go. Are you going to be playing Guild Wars 2? If so, what? And what are, if so, what? And what are your thoughts on Guild Wars 2? So I played the beta weekend of Guild Wars 2 and I really liked it. Yeah, I really liked it. What are the classes? I'm trying to remember. I played the warrior class and I played the engineer, but I'm not sure they're actually called either of those. But yeah, I liked the warrior. I did some of the PvP and I did a lot of the questing and the open events. I streamed my first day of doing that. I don't know. It just depends on if I can actually commit to an MMO. I know that's an easier one to commit to, and that's pretty cool. So that's the reason I would do it. Now, what is it? 3:30 right now? So let me see if I can go ahead and look at starting a game. Anyway, that is from Mattis. Another, I don't know. Mattis Mosny? I hope I'm not pronouncing that one wrong. All right. Now, what do we want to do? No, 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 no. This is what we'll do. Where are you? All right. The first 9 people that get in here will get a spot in the game. Password 12345. So just join when you can. I don't know if this will be balanced or anything. Oh, come on. I know you got... I have done this before. I know a lot of you want in here. I probably should have announced it a little earlier so people were prepared for it. Well, we still have 5 slots, at least as of this very moment. 4 slots. Now, there is no auto-balance function for me, so I can't actually balance the teams out here, which is unfortunate. We've had problems with it in the past, but I know people are interested in these subscriber games. All right, let's... Oh, it's blind... Yeah, we're just going to start this. There we go. Perfect. Well, There's not really blind pick. I would recommend that if you are in the game and are still listening to the stream, that you do take a look at what the other team's picking and do whatever you want based on that. Just because I know some of you will be, I might as well make it clear that you all should be. I probably should have done draft mode, but I didn't look to see how to set that. Why? It's easy enough to set up. Yeah, this is North America, so let's see how this goes. And I'm going to avoid saying anything about what's going on here until after the picking is ended. All right, so we have the blue team and the purple team. The blue team's going to be bot. Purple team's going to be bot, as you guys know. A few quick notes off this. Blue team looks pretty standard. I'm not sure how this Amumu is going to do. Amumu is usually not all that strong in a lane, but if he plays it safe, if he's like playing top lane and plays it safe, he might be okay. He does have a little bit of damage reduction, but I'm just not sure that's going to mean too much. Especially if he is likely going to be against, I could be wrong on this, but likely going to be against Darius here. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I am a little worried about how that's going to play out. But other than that, pretty standard team comp. We've got a support, Soraka, Sivir. So unfortunately, Soraka, who's going to be down there, does not have a hard CC of any sort. Anything that's going to keep somebody standing still, which is really something that works really well with Sivir. Nocturne, very strong jungler, and Morgana, very strong mid. Morgana's going to be able to Black Shield. Now, what are we going to be against here? So, purple team's going to have, let's see, somewhat of a kill lane. A combination between the Vayne and the Blitzcrank is going to be brutal, especially if the Vayne picks up Condemn first. Blitzcrank's going to pull back. Vayne follows that up with a Condemn, or Blitzcrank pulls back, knocks him up in the air, and then Vayne uses Condemn. There's going to be a lot of damage if Blitzcrank manages to grab anybody from the other team, meaning like Soraka, Sivir, who I'm guessing are going to be bot lane. Darius, I expect to do well up top, but I could be surprised. I just haven't even imagined a matchup between Darius and Amumu. And then we have pretty solid Kassadin mid. Unfortunately, against the Morgana, it's probably not going to mean that much unless Morgana falls behind. I don't see too much happening at mid, but I'd be pleasantly surprised if we saw a lot of action there. And then we do have Suzanox taking Lee Sin as a jungler, so he's going to have a good opportunity to get in. There's a lot of CC on purple team from Blitzcrank and a little bit from Vayne, but they don't have a whole lot of CC generally. Whereas blue team does have a little bit more CC with Morgana, with Amumu, a little bit with that silence from Soraka. That silence from Soraka could really kill Darius during this game. So it looks like we have about 20 seconds before the game starts, and let's see how this goes. Eight seconds. And now we get to watch everybody load in. So this is basically part one, was just going through this. Now what skins? Let me try something here. There we go. Alright, so we have Pack Sivir. We have Almost Prom King Amumu. I don't actually own that skin. I'm not sure when it was released, but I never picked it up. He's got a lot of really good skins. Pack Sivir and Void Nocturne. Pretty exciting stuff. So that means our skins are going to be on our potentially most key players. Although I'm really worried. I am genuinely really worried about this Amumu and how he's going to do if he does wind up going top lane. I just don't know what he's going to bring up there. I'm not sure realistically how he is going to be able to stay in the lane, able to get any kind of last hits. I mean, he can pick up those early GP5s, but from what I can guess, he's just going to give up that lane unless Darius really overextends, takes tower hits, or just lets himself stand in the aura for too long. Potentially with some really good ganks, especially early ganks, that could cause a problem for Darius. But I'm just not sure how that's going to measure up at all. We have, on purple team, Harbinger Kassadin, Dragon Slayer Vayne, and Dragon Fist Lee Sin. Who was saying something about Dragon Slayer Vayne? I was... Somebody was saying something about Dragon Slayer Vayne. And now somebody drop it in YouTube chat, because I remember somebody in chat caught my eye a few times saying something about Dragon Slayer Vayne. but I have no idea what it is. Now, if he goes AP Amumu, I just see him dying that much faster. I'm responding to a comment on YouTube chat. If he goes AP Amumu, I would be floored. I would genuinely be floored if he pulls off this lane. Now, if Nocturne's in there enough ganking, then it'll be good. Then I won't be as surprised. But if this Amumu can somehow pull off something against this Darius, I would be genuinely surprised. Alright, so the last time I spectated, we did not have the spectator mode in. I haven't used it too much. I do need to get used to it a little bit more, but what we're going to be watching is basically the directed camera. If I need to, I will try to switch off of the directed camera. I don't know how good the directed camera is, so this will be a first for me. This is 3 minutes behind, so there's no threat of ghosting or anything of that sort with that delay. Wait, Dragon Slayer Vayne does +1 damage to Siobhan. That's it? It's kind of boring, actually.
30 seconds until minions.
Alright, so we've got purple team defending their red buff right now. So it looks like Lee Sin, Susanox is going to be coming up probably for an early gank at either mid or top. That's the most likely. Of course, it isn't guaranteed because he could still do the full circuit, and this is just where he wants to start. But this does give him a good opportunity for a good level 2 gank. Morgana's defending for blue team over here, as Amuma's going to be going for that blue buff. No, he's not. What am I thinking? He's not a jungler. If he was a jungler, he'd be going for that blue buff. But it looks like Nocturne will be starting with the wolves, and then will be going to the blue buff, and then from there, who knows? He may either go up for a gank immediately, or he may come over and clear his jungle over here to get level 3 and 4, respectively, immediately. Going ahead and starting out on the Wraith camp here. Sivir and Soraka defending the tri-bush here. Oh, this could set up for something interesting. I'm going to let the camera do its own thing, because I'm afraid I'm going to miss a first blood if I don't. So, pretty standard item choices on the purple team side. A lot of health potions. Now Vayne, without sustain in the lane, Vayne did choose to go for a Doran's, which is an unusual choice, but she may be able to get away with it. Now Darius at mid against Morgana. This could be interesting because he is going to deal... He's going to lose some damage on his bleed off his passive. He is going to lose some damage off of it, but mostly physical damage. Morgana's not going to be able to do much about that, even with Black Shield. There is some harassment going on. I hope I don't miss first blood doing this. There is some harassment going on up top. Nocturne did attempt to come in for a gank. So these lanes are a little different than I expected. We've got Kassadin up top, and we've got Darius at mid, which is potentially going to play out a little, maybe a little bit differently. Kassadin taking a little while before he really becomes that powerhouse. Usually by level 6, when he's able to just teleport around, that's when he really becomes strong. But he is going to be able to harass Amumu. And there you go. So Kassadin does have that long-range Q, or mid-range Q, that's going to be able to harass. We do have Lee Sin waiting here on Morgana, Darius coming in. Good binding. Oh, but still pulled back. That's going to be first blood. Easy first blood thanks to Darius's pull. It was a good binding on Morgana's part, stopping a Lee Sin midway. That's usually pretty hard to pull off, so good catch. A little bit more harassed, but the Amuma's at above half health. He is going to lose the CS. He did try to use Tantrum to pick those up, but there's just a little too little damage. Bot lane blue is pushing up to the tower, which is going to leave them vulnerable, but they do have a ward in the river. They don't have a ward in the upper river. They don't have a ward right here. So purple could potentially come down through here, all the way down and get in behind them. Possible. Darius getting a little bit greedy. Let's see if he pays for this. Flash, and he's going to walk away. He needed to die there. Now, that's not going to be a huge issue right now. What? Get back here. Looks like we got a pull on Sivir. Sivir didn't even die. Jump back 15 seconds. Condemned. Right there. There was no way she's getting out of that. She did try to flash right at the last second. Oh, hello, new spectating interface. Jump back 15 seconds. That's great. Not a whole lot going on up at top lane. Kassadin is pushed up to the tower. Amumu is safe. Right here, Amumu is safe. He won't be safe forever, but with his health, he's going to be okay to get experience at the least, if not a lot of CS. Both of them at bot lane are at low health. Now, Sivir made a mistake. Sivir, when she was here, I hope I don't miss anything by doing this, when she was right here, in fact, let us do something new, something we have never done. And let's do it correctly, which is not what I'm doing. Whiteboard overlay. And let's do this. So I'm going to be trying this for the first time, but I don't actually have the monitor set up that I want to have set up for this. So let's lock the position, and let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Alright, let's do this. So we had Sivir going in here to go after the Blitzcrank. This was a terrible mistake because we had Vayne right here, and Vayne was able to condemn right into this wall. That's something you can never, ever, ever do against a Vayne, is get caught in a place like that, especially since it made that hook so easy for Blitzcrank to land. You cannot get over-aggressive when there's a Vayne nearby, because she still does have one of the strongest early abilities in the game for a ranged AD carry. Alright. And let's see what's going on. Hopefully I haven't missed too much here. Well, actually, I don't think I missed anything because I just paused it, right? So it'll just catch up on its own. Susan going ahead and picking up blue buff here. He is level 4, pretty standard place. He's not at a bad place at all. Looks like we might get some harass going on here. What's about to go on? Blitzcrank looking for an opportunity. He does get Sivir right here with a tumble condemn. No, she's not going to risk it. Way too low for Vayne to actually get any closer. Now, we do have Nocturne coming in. Purple does have vision, but whether they're going to back off quickly enough, it looks like they are since it's not changing my camera here. Oh, another good binding, just barely. Nocturne coming up river towards Darius and Lee Sin. Looked like he was about to potentially check their blue buff, but then he decided against it. So not a lot going on here, but Morgana's lower on mana. They're going to hit level 6 soon. I don't know how that's going to work out. A lot of damage, a lot of damage, a lot of damage. And, okay, she is going to be able to stop the bleed damage with her black shield, but that's it. She took a lot of damage there. He did spell shield. It doesn't really matter as long as this guy doesn't hit level 6, and he did. Although he killed him with a Q. Darius reaching level 6 right there. So Darius is now a lot more dangerous, and they picked up the kill on Nocturne. Lee Sin at mid right now. Potentially a grab soon here, and it could be a good one. And a condemn. A lot of CC. Now the exhaust on Vayne is going to keep them from getting a kill. Lose a lot of damage right there. Ooh, a tower hit. Vayne is so low. This is the second time we've seen Vayne this low. Oh, Nocturne coming up here. This could be interesting. Oh, no, it's going to be just barely too late. Going ahead and picking up blue buff and coming up top for a gang. Nocturne has no idea. Should I take that back? Maybe he did if those were still regenning health. Looks like we've got something going on here. Sivir, no exhaust this time. Is going to be enough damage? It is. Vayne picking up the kill on Sivir. If you were having sound issues, hopefully those are fixed now. Not a whole lot going on at top lane again. Oh, a lot of good harass. Third hit on that would be a lot more damage. Lee Sin working his way over here. Whether he's going to be able to get any kind of gank, unlikely. At the very least, he may be going towards mid lane, and it looks like Morgana's on her way back to mid lane. This Darius is doing pretty well right now in terms of farm. He's actually picked up, looks like we got a lot of damage going out. Again, she is going to block the bleed damage, but that's it. And Lee Sin coming in right now. Whoa! Another good binding, but just not enough. Is she going to pick up the kill? She is not. There's not an extra tower shot there. That is unfortunate. Anytime the Blitzcrank shoots out a hook, they have quite a while before they have to worry about it again. It's a very long cooldown. Very survivable. Very, very survivable. The Blitzcrank right now has Philosopher's Stone, which doesn't actually mean that much. It's just a standard GP5 item. But looking at the Darius, has those Ninja Tabi, which isn't actually for dealing with Morgana. It's not going to help him much against Morgana, just because it is extra armor, lower auto attack damage. Not a whole lot there, but it is going to be big when they come into the later game, when he has to deal with Nocturne, when he has to deal with Sivir, certainly. Though if Sivir keeps getting shut down, that's not going to mean too much there either. But then you do have the Ruby Crystal on 3 characters on the purple team. That's big, whereas on the blue team you've got Ruby Crystal, a little bit of survivability on just Morgana. You've got Doran's Shield on Amumu, but that's really not an ideal item, especially since he doesn't have a GP5. Amumu right now currently only has, let's see if anything happens here. He's going to back off just quick enough. Amumu right now only has 15 CS compared to Kassadin's 53. What looks like a passive lane up top. Like I was worried about, Amumu doesn't have a way to get in and actually farm. He might be getting the experience, but he doesn't even have gold per 5 yet. This is a really ridiculously bad situation for him. So we might get a good hook here. Or not. But fortunately for Blitzcrank, he made somebody burn a spell shield. Just looking to do a little bit of jungle invading, but it didn't amount to much. Lee Sin up top. Good condemn. Great, 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 great. Vayne getting in there with just an amazing condemn. A lot of damage out on that Sivir, but are they going to be able to clean up either of them? It looks like they're not, but that was a great exchange, great initiation by Vayne. Blitzcrank completely out of mana at this point. He might be able to pull off one more spell, but not too much. Spell Shield is very hard to work against a Vayne. Same thing with a Misfortune. So timing those Spell Shield, unfortunately, is not going to be too easy in this particular lane comp. If that Sivir was going against, say, a Caitlyn, it'd be a lot easier. Again, pushing up. Just not a lot. Amumu still 15 CS, unable to pick up anything. Now, he does have a game-changing ultimate, but that doesn't really mean much. 17 CS. It's going up. Not game-changing enough in that situation. We've seen some good bindings out of this Morgana, but that unfortunately was not one of them. Right now the score is 0-6. Purple team is really cleaning up on blue team here. Good grab right after the flash. I don't know whether he was expecting that or not, but it was a good grab for it. Alright, right now we're at 0 and 7. Very exciting stuff. The blue team is really pretty far behind. Right now they've got 11k gold versus 16.7k gold on purple team. Purple team has 7 kills. There's 0 kills, so that means 0 gold obviously from kills, 0 assist money, etc. For the blue team. It's a pretty rough situation. I would be very surprised if they... I honestly, at this point, I would be somewhat surprised if they even got a kill. So we'll see about that. Oh, this might be the time. Morgana is pretty much out of mana. Is this going to be the kill? Oh! Oh! Sivir getting greedy again. Now in this situation I can kind of understand it, but that is going farther than she should have gone. You have to remember when you've got somebody like Blitzcrank, you cannot take that kind of a risk near a tower. You just can't do it. Fortunately, that turned entirely around on them, with all 3 of them attempting the gank dying. Darius just does not mind this Nocturne here. Nocturne not getting the fear off because he wanted to back off himself. Put up the spell shield was not burned. Lee Sin picking up Dragon. It's still in the 11k range right now for blue team, whereas it's 19k now for purple team. This gold gap is just growing and growing. Up to 23 CS on Amumu. Amumu is just, again, it's just not a champion that's going to do well in a lane very often. There's some places where you can kind of get away with it, and if you went bot lane, you might be able to get away with it in the same sense that you could with an Amumu, or Leona, but not quite as good. It looks like this might be a good ultimate here. Oh, just barely not. Just barely not. Amumu is still a very strong champion, though, so just keep that in mind if you're interested in playing him. Consider playing him as a jungler. Zero and 11 right now. There's not too much going on, except the purple team is not making the mistake of going glass cannon. Pretty much all of them have some form of survivability at this point. Vayne still only has a Doran's Blade as far as survivability, but Vayne is really supposed to be going a little bit more glass cannon as an AD carry, so she has some survivability, but she's going to do fine. She does have that lifesteal, that sustain. This Kassadin soon is going to be able to go in for a secure kill. Very, very secure kill. It looks like we've got some kind of grab about to occur. Or just walk up and punch. That works too. I do not see... Oh! And he's gonna walk away! That's amazing! I did not expect Lee Sin to live there. And he just walks right in. Gets the slow on. Darius walks in and ultimates. Blue team is being handled right now. There is nothing they're going to be able to do. This is just destruction. I expect if this game turns around, I will be absolutely amazed. If they get a kill, I will be somewhat surprised. I just don't see how this game is going to turn around for them. There's an ultimate, but that's not going to be enough. Darius is going to walk around and just kill him. Just ignore him. Now, here we go, here we go, here we go. And just turning around. If you're having an error on YouTube, let me know, because I don't see anything on my end which would suggest that there is an error. But I do see the comments. Another good binding. Morgana will not be able to deal enough damage. She will not. This Lee Sin, I don't know if he'll kill her. Looks like he won't. But Morgana... Oh. He is looking... W in, W in, W in. Nope, doesn't matter. Kept her attention at the very least. Soraka just chain CC'd. She's blown all of her heals. Is she going to make it out? We don't know. Sivir might pick up a kill. Sivir might actually pick up this kill. Oh! Blue team gets a kill. That is, well, color me surprised. Now purple team just focused on getting that Soraka down through all of her heals. And all the while, Sivir was able to just freely attack Vayne. And it took that long to get that kill. Now, it was a good dodge of the Blitz Hook. But it's still a pretty rough situation. 1-16 right now. Another good binding on Morgana's part. Purple team just freely invading the jungle. Now Nocturne's going for a Brutalizer. It's about 30 minutes from what I suspect, and I don't know this, about 30 seconds from the end of the game, but Nocturne's going for a Brutalizer most likely with those double blades. Blue team looking for a little bit more damage. Unfortunately, there's just too much mobility on purple team. A little bit too much CC on purple team for anybody to get away at this point. Purple team can essentially act with impunity. Almost double the gold income at this point. You've got the 2 towers down. They can roam. They can freely roam. Top and mid are down, so top and mid are freely moving around the map. Just adding more, securing this victory for them. Again, it could turn around. Anything could happen, but I would be very surprised. And we're just a little too short on that bandage toss. Now he will have his ultimate available. Lee Sin coming down back through the back. So this is going to be a 3-on-3. Unfortunately, blue team has no idea it's going to be a 3-on-3. This is about to happen. Amumu using his ult to get away. Everybody going after Lee Sin. Vayne Blitzcrank don't care. They don't want to be a part of this. Wow, threading the needle, picking up Soraka. Double kill. Is Lee Sin gonna live? Is Lee Sin gonna live? No! Amumu does kill Lee Sin, so Amumu actually finally got some gold. Oh. 3-on-3, one of them was killed. Kassadin just farming. Just going crazy. So it's 2-20 right now. We are almost. I want to see if this gold income is going to get to a double. To where purple team has twice the gold as blue team. For what it's worth. Nocturne still has not finished that Brutalizer, so he really doesn't have much to bring into a fight right now. Not many of them do, though. Amumu's a little bit more survivable. He does have that Glacial Shroud, but he really needed to have GP5 given the situation he's in. He cannot be a seriously contributing factor to this team without GP5, without at least some items that he would accumulate over time with that gold. Good. Morgana pulled that off well. Unfortunately, not going to be follow-up on it. That's too bad, but Morgana did pull it off well. Vayne was not able to get out of the Soul Shackles, and then the binding on top of it, that was a great initiate, got Vayne low, but it just wasn't enough. This is demolished. That animation didn't look quite right to me, but that was just demolished. Purple team again just running through their jungle. Are they gonna do this? Are they gonna go ahead for this? I am not entirely convinced that the 3 of them at this point can kill Baron on their own. I could be wrong. Darius has a little bit of lifesteal, so that would be probably enough. I guess I am wrong. This looks like it's going to happen. The two of them are just going to clear up Baron. Yeah, this is going to happen. Again, purple team, this is a massacre. Darius 605. Darius is not risking anything. He has gone for a very survivable build. With the Hex Drinker, that's good against the Morgana. It's really just a generally good item against any kind of magic damage. Obviously with the Frozen Mallet. What is that? Phage, right? A Phage. And the Aegis, just a very survivable build. And he can get away with it. Obviously, at 6-0, he's still going to be just fine. Is Lee Sin going to walk out of this? It looks like he is. That was a flash. Good job. Purple team again, just cleaning up. Cleaning up. Four of their team members are dead right now.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
They should take another tower here. I'd be very surprised if they didn't take another tower here.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And here we go. One more tower potentially. Oh, huge Q, and then Blitzcrank pulls her away, and she's dead before Lee Sin can actually get to her. That's amazing. They're in, all in, and they're all gonna die. Just every one of them. Just demolished. There's nothing this team can do. There's been nothing this team could do for at least 10 minutes. At least 15 minutes. This has just been a train wreck. I mean, not that I don't love you guys on blue team. Just has been a train wreck. (2-31) final score. Saw that coming. I was hoping for some surprise turnaround, but saw that coming. Well, there you go. Yeah, I saw some suggestions in there, turning on all chat, so I'll do that. I didn't want to play around with the settings in the middle of that game, but I can probably just go set that up. In fact, I can probably just go set that up right now. Well, maybe. We'll see. So I want to set up some stuff with All Replay and get replays submitted if you guys have any, but that's going to be related to when we actually set up a... set up the series and like any challenges or anything like that, you know, anything really cool. Aside from that, I don't know. That's probably a good place to end it for today. Tomorrow we're going to have something a little bit more polished than this was, although this was hopefully a little bit of a step up from yesterday in terms of presentation. And hopefully tomorrow it's a little bit of a step up again. We'll see. I'll have a good Learn the League out tomorrow. I'll have no skin videos. I'm doing the Darius Don't Feed over the weekend. That'll be done before Draven comes out. When Draven's available on the PBE, I'll get a video up about that. I do hope to see you guys tomorrow. It's been fun. I enjoyed it. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I will see you tomorrow.